Many of us are waking up to the fact that the values of those in Washington, D.C. are not our values.
It is under siege by a Democrat president who refuses to do his constitutional duty to secure the border of the United States.
Then I think we take NASA, we take the military, we take the oil.
Here in Texas, we esteem those principles of Thomas Jefferson, that all political power is inherent in the people. Texans are sick and tired of being governed by 180,000 pages of federal laws, rules, and regulations.
And I've dedicated the last 15 years of my life to make sure that we don't have to do this anymore.
It is for all of these reasons and more that tonight I am officially announcing that I will be running as a Republican candidate to become the next Lieutenant Governor of the great state of Texas.
Governor, what's the enforcement of this going to look like in terms of 25%, 50%? Who's going to do it, and are there any penalties attached?
I missed the last part of the question.
Are there any penalties attached to this? I mean, just mostly who's going to be doing the enforcing here?
Right. Well, so for all of these executive orders, before now and now, there's several levels of enforcement. For one, there's the enforcement of up to a $1,000 fine and 180 days in jail. But the more primary enforcement would be either the local level or the regulatory level. And so for a lot of these businesses, they have an authorization to conduct business in the state of Texas. And if they violate the law, which this is now the law, they're subject to losing their license to have an open business.
I want to ask you if you're familiar with Article 1, Section 2 of the Texas Constitution.
I don't memorize everything, so read.
That's fine. I'm not asking you if you believe in independence right now, or should we leave. What I'm asking you is, whose decision is it? Is it we the people, or is it the legislature?
You've asked me a question I've not been asked. You've asked me a question I've not researched, and so I will follow back. And
you have to research it?
Yeah,
I just read the Texas Constitution.
Ma'am, I understand, but there will be a legal opinion on that, and I don't know what that legal opinion is, and I would want to go to the Attorney General and find out what that really says and really means and what the intent is. Reading me something for the first time that I have not looked at, and you're asking me a question, and I'm happy to give you an answer and follow up and give you the answer.
People in power, whether red or blue, they could not care less about Texas, me and you. They created this give me country that don't value hard work. For a Texan to survive, all we need are some seeds and dirt. Texan rise, don't you hear your call? Got to save your country before it starts. your call. Got to save your country before it's long gone. We believe in family and we value our community. Gladly lend a helping hand to a neighbor in need. And we don't believe that government should provide for all of society's needs. No, it's the pride of a Texan to give to others voluntarily. Texan rise, don't you hear your call? Gotta save your country before it's long gone. Texan rise, don't you hear your call? Gotta save your country before it's long gone. They like our tax dollars and they love our natural resources. They don't want to see us driving trucks, they'd rather see us riding horses. And now they want to ban our guns, you know, especially the ones that look scary. But may I remind you of the Gonzales Cannon and the Alamo heroes we buried. Texan rise, don't you hear your call? Got to save our country before it's long gone. Texan rise, don't you hear your call? Got to save our country before it's long gone. This last verse is straight from the Texas Constitution, Article 1, Section 1 and 2. Look it up. Texas is an independent state, yet presently we suffer. We no longer possess the right to locally self-govern. And now it's time as a people in which all political power is inherent. And in such manner we find expedient, we reform or abolish our government. I said, Texan rise, don't you hear your call? Got to save your country before it's long gone. Texan rise, don't you hear your call? Got to save your country before it's long gone.
Hey, good evening, everyone. It is time for my weekly decompress on Late Night Coffee Talk. I'm Daniel Miller, for those of you who do not know, but literally, I think my name is in that intro, right? So you probably already know that. Anyway, look, it was a whirlwind. We literally got back here in just enough time to get the coffee brewed and ready to go for tonight's coffee talk. And man, oh man, what a decompress, because I did something today. You may or may not have received news, but something happened. And I just got back from Austin. So I tell you what, before we start on the weekly decompress and kind of a wrap up of the week, let me remind those of you that are watching us on YouTube, whether it is on the TNM's YouTube channel or my YouTube channel, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that when we post new videos, you can get notified. Look, I'm even going to put the link to my YouTube channel because I keep getting asked that question. They're like, wait a minute, I've been watching on the TNM's YouTube channel. You mean you have your own? Yes, I do, because I have to. And so there it is, youtube.com/Daniel Miller TX. And look, we're actually close to hitting a fairly decent milestone for what is arguably a brand new YouTube channel. So be sure to head over there and subscribe. And of course, if you are watching on the TNM's YouTube channel, Super Chat is active, right? So go over there, chat with your fellow viewers and Texas independence enthusiasts. And if you make a contribution via Super Chat over on the TNM's YouTube channel, those contributions go straight to the work of the TNM. So always glad to get Super Chats over there. We're monitoring chat. Which brings me to number 2. If you are watching us on Facebook, be sure to go out and do all the Facebook things, right? Do like, share, and comment. Like, share, and comment. That helps us beat the algorithm, helps you see more of our posts, and actually helps more people see our posts. So whether it's videos or news or whatever it is, it definitely helps. And of course, if you're watching this on Twitter, whether it's the TNM's Twitter account or my Twitter account, look, be sure that you follow our accounts, right? Be sure you do that if you're not already. And then, of course, retweet, drop us comments. And, of course, all of these, whether it's YouTube chat or the Facebook comments on the video or Twitter, all of these aggregate in a little feed over here on the side in chat. And for the duration of the broadcast tonight, Kara is going to be monitoring chat and getting your questions. And I'm going to have time. I'm going to have time for questions. I do that all the time, right? This is about our discussion, our time together while I decompress. And, we take them as we can, as we talk about things. If you have questions about things I'm talking about or just anything that's sort of burning, then be sure to do that. And what that tells me is I also need to mute my notifications. Boop. There we go. Otherwise, that thing is going to drive me nuts all evening long, at least while we're here, right? Because there's a lot of news breaking, right? Aside from the thing that I did tonight or today that I'm going to be talking about, there's a lot of news, whether it's the DOJ lawsuit and people asking a ton of questions about the effect of that lawsuit on the petition effort. There's a lot going on. Lots of brand new supporters coming in on the TNM, which dings me with notifications. Lots of people pledging their support for the campaign, again, which I get notifications. And I just have to say thank you all, whether you're supporting the TNM or supporting me as a candidate or, frankly, supporting any of the TNM's candidates. I have to send a big thank you to you. So hope you have your cup of coffee. I will tell you that many of you have keyed in on the fact that I am a coffee aficionado. And I say aficionado. That's kind of a pinky out thing. That is overselling it. I'm not a coffee aficionado. I'm a coffee fanatic. I drink a lot of coffee, if you haven't figured that out, right? But some of you have, right? And the first batch of coffee came in. Alec, who participates in the chat, he hand-delivered it to me at an event up in Wise County, right? Hand-delivered it, boom. So that was the first gift. And then we had some from Bill. Bill sent some that he actually roasts himself. And we did that for, we did that one for, I think, a couple of coffee talks. And then got another one in from Eric, who is a longtime member of the TNM, who is probably on here tonight. So, Eric, thank you very much. And today, Susan, who is Susan Williamson, who is our district director out there kind of in the West Texas area. Her daughter, I believe it is, roasts her own coffee and sent a bag too. So you guys have learned the way to my heart. It's coffee. I'm not going to lie. I mean, this is called late night coffee talk for a reason. I drink coffee all the time. So here's to you guys. Mm. All right. So, wow, I'm looking over here at my notes because I frantically scrawled a bunch of notes for all the various and sundry things that have gone on. I mean, we literally, Karen and I had plenty of windshield time back. Many of you know Claver was on when I talked about, post announcing that I was going to run for lieutenant governor. Many of you guys know Claver from our various events. He's deep in the TNM. Well, we picked him up today to go to Austin, brought him back. And we had a lot of windshield time, and literally we didn't talk about, like, at no point did we talk about, okay, well, really, what should we talk about on Coffee Talk? I mean, it's been such a whirlwind, right? So literally we get home, we get things offloaded from the car, get the coffee on, and I look at Kara. I said, I have to grab my notepad. Remind me of what all has happened since the last Coffee Talk, because it's just been an absolute blur. It's just been an absolute blur. It's been a lot. So we started jamming it down, and first and foremost, let me take this opportunity, because last Saturday, now there was some stuff that happened toward the tail end of the week, but I'm going to start with Saturday, because Saturday was quite an interesting day. Started off the day out at Republic Boot, right? Our good friend over there, Chris Conrad, back when all of this stuff broke, and we were working House Bill 1359. One of the things that he does at Republic Boot is they make suits, and they make custom boots. And there's a whole story here. And, I think Chris is going to be gone for about 5 weeks, but I'm going to have him on Coffee Talk one night to talk about his love of Texas culture and how it fueled the start of Republic Boot Company. But it's even beyond boots. So he reaches out months and months and months and months ago and says, here's what I want to do. He says, you've been grinding at this thing really hard. What I want to do is I want our suit guy to make you a suit, and I want our boot guy to make you some boots. And I have to tell you, I've never received a gift like that before. I never have. And so we went over there. It was right around the time of the rally against censorship. I think it was the day after we left the Woodlands and went down there, and they measured me up and did all that. And it finally was done. Chris was in town because he works out of the country a good bit. He was back in town and went over there and got it. And two things. Number one is just the amazing work that those guys do at Republic Boot Company. Those boots fit like a glove, and they are absolutely gorgeous. The suit is phenomenal. So that's number one, and I'm so appreciative of those things. Number two is that suit taught me how much weight I have actually lost in all of those months. Because in the front, it looks a bit like I'm wearing my daddy's clothes, right? So I've got to go get it done. But I was honored to be able to wear that today. And so Chris, Bill, all you guys over there at Republic Boot Company, I cannot thank you enough. They're getting ready to open a brand new location over there, and we got a sneak peek at what it looks like, and it's gorgeous. And you got to go check it out when you're in Houston. So started out there, and then on the way, because we had something that afternoon, on the way after we left Republic Boot Company, we're driving to a place to go eat, and boom, we happen upon one of the protests for SOS from Australia. It was a worldwide protest to protest the lockdowns in Australia, bring awareness to those things, and particularly the fact that what's happening there related to the lockdowns and the restrictions are things that could indeed happen here. And to bring awareness to what was going on. And so we just happened upon these guys, and we had to spin around and find a place to park and go out there and show our support from them. And you may have seen some of the pictures on social media, my various social media accounts. But it was called SOS from Australia. And if you are not aware of what's happening over there, you need to go look it up right now. Go find the videos. And some people had, it was funny because I got some comments from some people saying, what does Australia got to do with Texas? If you're more concerned about Australia than Texas, then you're clueless. Well, dude, you're clueless, right? Because I've given 25 plus years of my life now to the cause of Texas independence. And if you think for a minute that things that happen outside of the borders don't affect Texas, you need to go get your head checked, right? And that was a lot of the conversation with the people that were there at the event, is they were there not just to protest at the Australian consulate about all of the things that were going on in Australia, but to bring awareness to people that those sorts of things could happen here. Because remember, I mean, we just went through a year of lockdowns, right? Where they shut down our churches, shut down our businesses, lumped us into categories of essential and non-essential. And of course, that was all promulgated by the governor, right? Orders came down from the feds. The governor instituted them and threatened people with jail time and fines and the loss of their business licensure and all these sorts of things. And Lieutenant Governor sat idly by. He sat silently, didn't say a word, not a whimper in protest to protect all of us, right? So one of the many reasons I decided to run. So it was important. So got to spend some time out there with those folks and met some phenomenal people who came in from all over Texas to protest in front of the Australian consulate. And you can go see some of the pictures on social media. Then left there, and many of you might remember I did an interview recently with a guy named Josh Tolley. And Josh Tolley, you can look for the interview on YouTube, but it turned out to be a great one. And Tolley, interestingly enough, I don't think that either one of us remembered, and I didn't until I actually happened across it a couple of nights ago, that I actually interviewed with Tolley back in 2018 on his radio program. So did a recent interview with him. Well, his team, because Tolley has recently moved to Houston, moved to Texas because he loves freedom, wants to be around freedom-minded people. He's that person who came here to help us, to be a part of this and not to vote us into what he left. But he's noticed something, that since he's been here, he hears everyone talking about how many generations of a Texan they are. I mean, even me, like on my bio, it talks about I'm a 6th generation Texan. So he hears it. And so there's been this sort of thing. So his team arranged a surprise, right? So he was giving a seminar that Saturday all day. It was one of his, because he does a lot of business consulting, marketing consulting, things like that. So he was having this seminar, an all-day thing. And what they wanted me to come in and surprise him while he was in the middle of his seminar and present him with a certificate of honorary Texas citizenship. And so we have the video for that. I'm not going to run it tonight, but we are going to get it posted on the YouTube channel. And you're going to absolutely, you're going to love it, because he was absolutely shocked. And pay special attention to the 2 rules that I gave him related to being a Texan, and you'll appreciate it. So did that. And of course, that was just all on that one day. And then of course, Monday we decided that today was going to be the day that I filed. Matter of fact, we got an email out, I believe it was Monday, inviting people to participate. It's like, hey, I'm going to Austin to file. I'm going to file in person. And if you'd like to come, right? So very short notice kind of thing. And today it happened. Today, as of today, this afternoon, 1 o'clock or a little after 1 o'clock, I have officially filed to be a Republican candidate for lieutenant governor of the state of Texas. It is official. So we got there to Austin, to the RPT headquarters, and I got to tell you, and let me just say this as best I can without getting emotional about it. While we were there, we saw other candidates come in, rolling solo or maybe with their families, coming in, filing. But for us, there was us, right? You guys showed up, and I was humbled by people like Troy, who came in all the way, drove in from Paris, Texas to Austin because he wanted to be there to show support, and we had people there from, not just the Austin area, but that came in from Houston and Waco and Corpus and Rockport and the RGV and Coryell County and out there in West Texas, out near Menard. I mean, it was just, it was humbling. And you guys know that I experienced a high degree of apprehension about this, right? I mean, there was a lot of distance between the first asks for me to do this and the open letter that was submitted, and then when the decision was finally made. You know that I am about as reluctant of a politician as you can get. As a matter of fact, the guy at the SOS from Australia rally referred to me as a politician. I told him to watch his mouth, right? So, it's one of those things. I am reluctant, and I have been buoyed by the support you guys have shown, right? And especially those folks who took the time out of their day to drive to Austin to be there while we made it official. And so there's going to be lots of photos and videos. I mean, like I said, we just kind of screeched in right before this started, so we haven't had time to process everything. But our good friend Will Casey was rolling tape, and he caught me afterwards. We gathered everybody together. I'm going to tell you, our people were a cloud of noise in the Republican Party at Texas headquarters, man. But there may have been more of us there than there were other people, right? And I got to say, the executive director of there, John Beckmeyer, John, phenomenal. Thank you so much for taking care of us, making sure everybody had offers of coffee and water, and making us feel very welcome. But when it was all said and done, they put you in front of this little red wall, and so you can take pictures, and there's tons of those. But I did shoot a bit of video for people that were not there, and I'm going to play it for you now. So I'm standing here in Austin at the Republican Party of Texas headquarters, and I have just filed to become a candidate for lieutenant governor of the state of Texas. This is a job that I did not want, a fight that I did not want, but it is a fight that has been brought to us. Because time and time again, the establishment politicians have told us that our voices don't matter. They've told us that what we think, what we feel, our concerns are not their concerns. And to add insult to injury, they have believed, or they believe that they are smarter than us, and they think that we're too stupid to make our own decisions. Well, let me tell you something. I firmly believe in Article 1, Section 2 of the Texas Constitution, when it says that all political power is inherent in the people, and it reserves that inalienable right to alter, reform, or abolish our government in such manner as we think expedient to the people. And today, I plunked my paperwork on the desk because I believe that it's time for we, the people, to alter the government that we have in Austin. We need a government that represents us, one that doesn't promise that they're going to stop kicking people out of their homes, and a government that will go out and actually abolish the property tax. We're looking for governance in Austin that will 100%, without equivocation, secure the border by placing the Texas State Guard fully militarized there to stop the invasion. And in the end, across so many other issues, we believe in putting the question of Texas independence back in the hands of the people and let the people decide what the political future of Texas is. So I want to thank you so much, even though you couldn't be here, but for all of these folks that are here today, and to you at home that are watching this, wherever you are, come join the campaign. Let's take Texas back. Thank you. There we go. So there was live video from the place, and we've got some other video we're going to be uploading. But I will tell you, those folks there were blown away, I think, by the support and enthusiasm. And here's something else too. Here was something else that was excellent. I got to hang out with two of our Take Texas Back candidates, two of our TNM candidates, Deanna Robertson and, of course, Joshua Ham. who were there, who are both running for the State House. Joshua, I think Josh is in the Austin area, and of course Deanna's up in Harris County. And so it was great to see them, and very excited to get to hang out with them. And there's some pictures of us. I wish I'd have had time to upload them to show you guys, but they'll all be on social media, so make sure you do go check that out. Okay, so we're almost at the midway point. This is the time for me to give you guys a few reminders before I go back to finishing up talking about the campaign and some campaign-related things, and then talk about some T&M stuff specifically related to the Department of Justice lawsuit. But a couple of reminders, if you're just now joining us, if you are watching on YouTube, whether the T&M's YouTube channel or my YouTube channel, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and also participate in chat. If you super chat, that's awesome. That money goes right to the T&M, so super chat away. T&M needs all the help it can get. We've got to go win Texas independence. And, of course, if you're watching on Facebook, like, share, comment, like, share, comment, like, share, comment. Help us defeat the algorithm, right? And Twitter, do your Twittery things. And hopefully we're going to be getting very close soon to being able to broadcast on LinkedIn. We just got to hit that magic threshold. And so go over, if you're on LinkedIn, make sure you go search for Texas Nationalist Movement, find our page and like it. And you'll know it's the one that's there, that's updated with all of the latest articles. So go check that out. But one final thing on the campaign. And let me throw this up there really quickly before I move on. Two things right now. If you have not, head over to DanielOMiller.com. That's DanielOMiller.com, or you go to TexansForMiller.com and register your support. That is the primary way that we are able to communicate with Texas voters and really gauge our ability to share, to get the message out there. And then additionally, one of the things that I announced last week is we just launched an entire suite of digital tools. Once you register your support, you'll get a site account, and then you'll have all kinds of tools that you can utilize to go out and help us spread the word for the campaign. And for those of you that have been volunteers and activists in the T&M, a lot of it is going to look very familiar to you. So go check that out. And of course, if you'd like to make a donation to the campaign, you can head over to dmcdonate.com. That's DMC as in Daniel Miller Campaign, donate.com. That'll take you right to the donation page. And just a reminder, the official hashtag for the campaign is hashtag DMC2022. That is what we are using to label all of our posts on social media and really keep track of it. So make sure if you are tweeting or posting on any social media to use the hashtag DMC2022. Wow. This is actually, what's funny? This is actually my second live broadcast this week. Last night, right? Today's Wednesday. So last night, I talked about, I told you guys previously about the work that I do, but a lot of people don't understand. I actually have an outside job. I work as a technology consultant, and I'm working with a company right now called Wealthio.com, founded by a friend of the T&M. You guys know him as David Thomas Roberts. He is the guy who owns Defiance Press, got the Texas book published. He's an author of his own right. He wrote a business book, wrote some phenomenal political thrillers. He wrote an explosive book that just absolutely crushes the concept of the income tax, its origins in the federal system. It's called The Death of Liberty. Check it out. But anyway, Wealthio had their first Q&A last night with the founder, right? He's known as the Renegade Capitalist. And so I actually hosted that. So this is technically like my second live broadcast in 2 days. And I'm having a roll solo. That one was easy. All I had to do was interview him, right? So kind of as part of my work over there with Wealthio and technology and all that, I get to kind of leverage these sorts of things. So anyway, second in 2 days. A lot of fun. All right. So let's proceed. Let's move on. Obviously, my messages have blown up over this Department of Justice lawsuit against the state of Texas over the maps. And I have to say, I kind of called it. When I said they would probably swoop in at the last minute just to blow up the maps to disrupt the election schedule. Now, jury is out figuratively because there is no jury in this yet, or may not be. But jury's out on whether or not it's going to scramble the timeline. But literally, like right before this, I got a text message from someone that I will not tell you, who screenshotted something from Twitter. And I'm thinking this is probably, I don't know. But anyway, a federal 3-judge panel has set January 22nd hearing for the plaintiff's request for a preliminary injunction and extension of the filing period as it relates to Senate District 10. Overseas mail-in ballots are set to go out January the 15th. So there's going to be some problems with the maps. And, this federal 3-judge panel, they're going to have to expedite some things. But the bottom line is, if there is an extension of the filing window, that extension of the filing window applies across a lot, right? Because the way that, we talk about this in terms of the petition, but the Texas petition issue is now a bit muddied because of a potential extension related to the filing deadline. Because the way the law reads, the last day for petition signatures is the last day for filing. So whatever the filing deadline is, that's the last day. And if they extend the filing deadline in any shape, form, or fashion, that's going to extend the date. So tomorrow night, and I'm not going to dive too much in the DOJ stuff, and I'm going to be taking, if you've got questions, be sure to put them in chat on YouTube or in the comments on the Facebook Live video. But however you do it, get your questions in, because I've gotten, I think I see one so far, that has at least made it over to Slack. There may be more, and I may have to go scroll through chat and see. But get those in, because I'm not going to talk too long about the DOJ thing. But I will say this. If you are a certified petition circulator for the Texas petition, tomorrow night we will be having a live call that we have every week since the launch of the petition campaign, and you need to be there. If you're a certified petition circulator, you need to be on that call, because before we brief anybody else, you're going to get briefed. But I will tell you that this extension of the filing window is going to make a lot of different changes. And of course, look, if you haven't signed the petition yet, you got to go right now, right? Go to tnm.me/Texas petition. That is tnm.me/Texas petition. As it stands right now, the close of the filing window is 5 days, right? So there's still time, and you better get your tail end in gear. And I will say this, given what we understand about the situation, you guys are going to have to pick up the pace. And for petition circulators out there, if you have not gotten your petition signatures in, do it now. Do it now. Well, I say do it now. The post office is closed, but you know what I mean, right? So, but if not, if you have not signed, go to tnm.me/Texas petition. And if you have, go share that link. Go share it. It's vitally important that you do so. All right. There's been more talk than coffee. This is supposed to be coffee talk. Coffee comes first in the word list, so we should get that done. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. So, look, the DOJ lawsuit is going to be interesting, and I see I've got some questions that are popping up over here about the DOJ lawsuit still. Look, I'm not particularly concerned about the merits of the case, right? I mean, I think there's a discussion that could be had there about the merits of the case, but I don't know that this is the appropriate venue to discuss what those merits are, right? Because I think at the end of the day, the thing that Texans have to be quite upset about is the fact that, we've got yet again the federal government coming in here disrupting our elections and basically telling us what we can and what we cannot do. And again, can't speak to the particular merits of the particular lawsuit or what their allegations are, but I can tell you that if a federal lawsuit is a cause for the extension of the petition submission deadline, and the federal government inadvertently winds up helping us get the Texas question on the ballot, then I would say that that's ultimate irony. Wouldn't you agree? I would. All right. Let's take a look at this. Somebody asked who wrote the song that we use at the very beginning of this. And of course, that song is Texan Arise by our very own executive director, Nate Smith. And I have asked him, shot him a message, and asked him if he would be willing to come on potentially tonight. He won't be able to do it tonight, but probably next week to play the song live for you guys. And I don't know if you guys would dig that. I mean, we've not done live music on Coffee Talk. So if you would like that, then, sound off in the comments and we'll get Nate on here to do that. But it's Nate Smith. He's our executive director. Yeah, we, unlike some other organizations, we didn't go out to some agency, or find somebody on Fiverr to write it. We actually have a lot of musicians in the organization. So it's really, really nice. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if he's watching right now, but our good friend, who is a musician, is finally retiring out from ocean duty, right? Working on ships. And I think he's in South Africa right now. And he's a TNMer, and he's going to be coming back here very soon. So we're going to have a good time with him. That's going to be fun. All right. So let's go down through here and see what we've got. See if we've got any more questions, because it's just a lot. Yes, I am for the abolition of property tax. I make no bones about it. And, if people don't like that, that's tough. I can't see why anyone would be against the abolition of property taxes, other than people that maybe don't own property or have no intention of ever owning property. I find property taxes quite immoral. All right. So I tell you what, somebody's asking about this. They're asking about the upcoming schedule. So let me do that for you real quick. First and foremost, if you want to check out upcoming TNM events, head over to tnm.me/events. And if you want to find out campaign specific events, guess what? It's danielomiller.com/events. But look, we're heading out. So we got a short run Saturday and Sunday. And let's see, we're going to be in Boyd on December the 11th, which is Saturday. Going to be up there hanging out with our good buddy Andy Hopper, who is running for State House up there. Going to be doing a campaign meet and greet together. And then next day from 3 to 5, we're going to be heading out to Llano, which is going to be, and I'm going to pull up the details of the event here for you guys. So, it's the Llano Liberty Forum, and it's going to be from 3 to 5, right there in Llano. The address is right there on the website, the John Kirkendall Event Center and Arena there in Llano. So come on out. It's going to be good. We're going to have a good time, and then we'll be back because it is Monday. We have to come back for a funeral. And it is one of my least favorite things to do in the TNM is to deliver the news that we've lost one of our own. Many of you that have been with the TNM for a very long time probably have had the opportunity and the pleasure to work alongside and to meet Roger Evans. Roger Evans, and there's actually, I think, pictures and video on social media. There's an article on the website about Roger where we gave him a Lifetime Achievement Award for his work in the TNM, and he got a statue like that one back there of the Texian. Roger is the guy who was so gung-ho and has been so gung-ho for the TNM and Texas independence that he took his Suburban and painted it like a Texas flag and put a TNM logo like that on the hood. Roger was one of the biggest promulgators of the hope that Texas independence brings, right? A phenomenal guy. I don't know if you didn't know Roger, I don't know how I'm going to explain him to you. But we got word that Roger Evans had passed away, and I have to tell you, my heart sank a bit, as it does anytime that I hear that some of our folks that are just so foundational, that have been so passionate, that have worked so hard for Texas independence, are not with us anymore. And I talked about this. Not too long ago, how it makes me both sad and angry and a bit impatient, because we watch those guys pour, guys like Roger pour their time, their heart, their soul. I mean, they are so emotionally invested in making Texas independence happen, and it didn't happen fast enough for them to get to experience it. Now, we'll all get the benefit of the work that they put in and the passion that they put in. I mean, they planted seeds for trees that they will never enjoy the shade of. And it does. I think about it in those terms. I used to teach when I taught. There was a small leadership course that I taught in the TNM. Taught our people to be cathedral builders. To think long term, to think bigger than whatever the task was that you were working at the time. To have that mindset that you may be planting seeds, you may be cultivating, and it may take a while. But not, some of us may not have the opportunity to experience independence, and I want it so badly, not for me, but for guys like that pour their heart and soul and passion into this. And I'll tell you, I confess, it's one of the reasons that I have almost zero patience for excuses when it comes to these issues of Texas independence. I have no patience, because I know that every second counts, and I'm sick and tired of losing people that are so committed just because they ran out of time. And I know, look, I know that there is a plan. I know that, I know that God Almighty has His plans, and I know that many of us are working so hard, but just take a moment and think about Roger, even if you didn't know him, and think about what it would be like to pour all of that time into this and still not be able to see it, and understand that maybe, just maybe, if we can all get our priorities aligned and push just a little bit harder, we'll all get to see it from here on out. We'll all get to see it, and we won't lose any more people. That's my hope. And I know the team, I know all of us that have been with TNM for a long time, who have known Roger Evans, are going to be very sad that he's not going to be around anymore. And I know we're going to redouble our efforts on behalf of him and on behalf of the Charlie Doricks of the world and Lauren Savages and the Dave Mundys and all these people that were just fixtures in working to make Texas independence happen, that will not get to see it. We're going to do it for them. They have, through their work, through their efforts, through their influence, left a legacy that both inspires and informs all of us that are here still working. And for those of you who don't know those names that I rattled off, that's shame on us. That's shame on us for not introducing you to people that are in our world heroes, and not heroes because of some great feats, but heroes because they were just so focused and so passionate about Texas independence and never even contemplated giving up on the idea. And it's because of people like that that we're here today. So we're going to miss Roger. We really are. But I know this. I know that what he would want us all to do is to go out and give 110% for Texas, to make Texas free and independent again. He would want us to go pour it all out. He would want us to be the guy that painted our vehicle like a Texas flag and put the logo on it, and talk to anybody that he could get to stand still for 30 seconds. Right? I mean, that's the kind of folks, the most passionate, the people. I mean, he would get books and hand them out like pamphlets, right? If there were signs, trifolds, brochure, I mean, whatever it was, he didn't meet anyone that the issue of Texas independence didn't come up. And he would want us to be like that. He would want us to go out there and sound the alarm and let people know that there is hope. So we're going to do this for you, Roger. We're going to do it for you. All right. Let's see if we got any questions that have come in. Okay, Alex asked a question on YouTube. He says, as tyrannical as the federal government in D.C. has gotten, do you see Texas being able to peacefully separate from the Union without war? Absolutely. I actually covered that last Coffee Talk, and it's on the website. If you go to texitnow.org, that's texitnow.org. And you can go find the answer to that question and so much more, and it's actually covered in this book. Okay, JGD on YouTube. Do you think Ted Cruz is serious that he would support Texit if the U.S. House eliminates the filibuster? Well, there's only one way to find out. Let them eliminate the filibuster. I have learned a long time ago, especially where politicians are concerned, that there is a certain degree of lip service from them when it suits them, right? But where the rubber meets the road is where the decision gets real. That's why I tell people, even though we have all these favorable polls, right? We have all these favorable polls. Hey, thank you. All these favorable polls of, majority Republicans, majority, we got all, the only polling that matters is the one where Texans get to go into a voting booth and pull a lever, spin a dial, hit a button, mark a box, whatever it is. That's the only poll that matters. The poll where at the end of it, either Texas is free and independent or Texas is still a state. That's it. And I'm going to tell you, the proof in that was the Brexit vote. Every single polling, third-party polling up until the Brexit vote showed that Brexit was going to go down in flames, except for one. Right? It was the YouGov poll that was commissioned by Leave.eu, and they requested a massive sample size, so it was the only one that was even remotely accurate. But every poll showed that Brexit was going to fail. And the fact of the matter is they walked into that voting booth and put Brexit over the top, because that's the one that matters, whether it's the fear of retribution, social pressure, whatever that is. Right? It's going to be, it only matters when you get a vote. And at the end of the day, I don't know if it doesn't matter to me if Ted Cruz supports or not, because at the end of the day, he gets one vote just like I do. Right? If he's for it, guess what? Well, that makes two of us. Right? If he's against it, we'll just cancel each other's votes out. Right? But he only gets one vote. Now, would it affect us in a major way if he publicly came out and said, look, I support it because they ended the filibuster? Absolutely. But, I'll believe it when I see it. And some people may say, well, that's a bad attitude to have. But I say go out there and spend 25 years dealing with politicians on the issue of Texas, and you'll understand why I am cautious about that. And not going to just take anybody at their word, even Ted Cruz, right? But I got to say, that video of him answering the question, it's been making the rounds. It's been making the rounds, and there are a lot of people, including some of the, the ridiculous lefties have coming out of the woodwork. It's been fun. Let's go through here. Can we eject Austin from the nation of Texas? Oh man. Yes. We're not gonna eject Austin. Austin is our capital. Austin's our territory. We do not surrender a single inch of Texas. It's Texas from tip to tail, right? It's not gonna happen. Okay. Yeah, I see a lot of people asking about the video, which I posted. Okay, guys, I'm seeing some super chats. I want to thank you guys. Daniel, thank you for your super chat. It's $20 in the coffers for the TNM. Thank you so much. And no question attached. Super nice. Okay, let's scroll through. Jacob is downloading LinkedIn. Thank you very much. They will appreciate that. And Alan, thank you for your donation to the TNM. Yeah, and look, I'm going to say, if you want to go make a contribution straight on the TNM website or go make a contribution straight to my campaign, I am not going to cry about that because YouTube does shave a pretty hefty percentage off. So, and Viva, hey, thank you so much for your contribution too via Super Chat. Yeah, I'm seeing some chatter seeing a little chatter about what they did to some of the districts, man. Some of the districts during redistricting, they destroyed. I mean, we talked about what they did to poor Jeff Kaysen up there. I mean, they basically snatched his district away and gave it to the Democrats. Completely shifted the district that he's in, basically to run him out of office. They took James White's district and just completely dismantled it. They trashed Biederman in his district to the point that he's like, there's no way for me to run. I'm not going to run, which is a loss. And I got to tell you, it really upsets me that we're losing some of these guys. James has been a longtime friend of ours. It goes without saying where Kyle Biederman is as far as his relationship to us. But, I'm proud to say that I still talk to him on a regular basis. So it's going to be fun. We're going to go out there and we're going to keep fighting the good fight. All right. Okay, looking. Let's see what we got here. All right, cool. All right, well, look, guys, we're close to wrap up, and I don't mind wrapping up a bit early tonight. I've got a lot of work to do. I've been on the road all day. I mean, you got to go look at where Nederland, Texas is in relation to Austin, right? And understand it's like Nederland to Houston, pick up Claver, drive to Austin, get out of the car, stretch the legs, put on the jacket, go in, file, hang out with our folks, go break bread with our folks that hung out, right? Because we got to get some Stubbs barbecue, pour ourselves back into the car, burn it all the way back just to be sure that we got here in enough time to follow through with my coffee talk commitment because I like hanging out with you guys. So that. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Since you guys are quiet on questions, I will just, you must have the answers, and that's okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to remind you right now to, if you have not already, pledge your support on the website, head over to danielomiller.com. That's danielomiller.com. And register your support, make a contribution, volunteer, do any of the cool things that the cool kids are doing. And of course, when you share things on social media, be sure to use the campaign hashtag DMC2022. That's DMC as in Daniel Miller Campaign 2022. And if you'd like to make a contribution, head over to dmcdonate.com. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not remind you, if you are watching this and you have not become a member of the Texas Nationalist movement, head over to tnm.me/join. That is tnm.me/join and become a member today. It's what we're all doing. All the cool kids. Anyway, come sit at the cool kids table. It's going to take every single one of us to come on board to get this thing done. And, if my heartfelt tribute to a man like Roger Evans didn't do the trick, then I'm under no pretense that, what I'm asking you to do here is going to help. But I'm going to tell you, we need all hands on deck to get this thing done. So tnm.me/join. And oddly enough, I'm going to tell you right now, strangely enough, there are still 5 days left in the filing window, but 4 by the time this goes out. But head over, if you are a candidate or want to be a candidate and want to just kind of slide in at the last minute, head over to tnm.me/run for office. If you have not signed the petition, head over to tnm.me/Texit petition. Get your signature on the line, which is dotted. And wow, man, I just rolled through all of those like really, really quickly. Be watching social media. We're going to get more video up from today from the official filing, more pictures. We're going to try to get some of that stuff up there tonight. And I'm just looking forward to it. It's a very exciting time. Claver was asking me on the way home. He's like, man, you should be on cloud 9. And I got to tell you, I'm stunned. I'm humbled by the support. I am excited about the enormity of the task and frankly, the opportunity, right? Why do people climb mountains? Because they're there, right? And this is a mountain for us to climb, but this is one that's got such amazing opportunity for us here in Texas. I mean, we have a shot to save Texas, to write what will become history for future generations, right? They're going to read about what we do here right now. At the beginning of the year, I said that the next several months are going to determine the next 100 years of Texas history, and I mean it. I meant it then, and I mean it now. We are making history, and the question is, how are we going to be remembered? So I encourage all of you, get in the fight. Let's go win this thing. Let's go win. That was the 3 words when I huddled up everybody and I talked to them about, after we filed, I talked to them because today was, that anniversary of the day after Pearl Harbor. And I was reminded of the story that I learned growing up about my uncle, my mother's brother. My mother and her 2 brothers, they had a cousin who was killed at Pearl Harbor. And of course, when the news came that he was one of the KIAs, my uncles wanted to join, and the one uncle was about rail thin, right? He's about this big around, and he wanted to go join the Marine Corps, and he went to go join because he wanted to fight because they'd lost a cousin in that attack, and they told him he was too skinny, and the story that he told, that everybody in the family told, was he said, I didn't come here to eat. I came here to serve my country. And they waved him right on in. They made the exception and they let him come on in. And, and I think about today being that day, that the anniversary of that day after Pearl Harbor. And I think about how passionate and motivated so many of those people were to go down and enlist and say, okay, we've been attacked. I'm here to serve, and I'm here to do whatever it takes to get the job done to save my country. In our case, our country is Texas, and it's under attack daily. I don't know. I learned something new today too about the federal government's lawsuit on the heartbeat bill, and I've got to check on this, and I want to verify this fact. But I literally heard this today while I was at the RPT headquarters, that they didn't name just the state of Texas as the defendants of the suit. They named all Texans individually Now, I'm sure they didn't list us all out, but they referred to us collectively and not as the entity of the state of Texas, but as individuals, right? So gonna do a little more digging on that to find out, but we're under attack every single solitary day. And so, for us, our motivation, our passion, our love for our country has to be like it was for my uncle on December the 8th, 1941, and so many other people, to exude that type of passion, to be able to go out and do it. And look, my uncle paid a price. He didn't lose his life, but he did, lose a good bit of his intestines from Japanese mortar fire on Saipan. So, sometimes things happen, right? But it's worth it, and we have to believe that. So with that, I will leave you with the words I leave you with at the end of every speech and every live broadcast, even though I keep getting told that I shouldn't do this because candidates don't do this sort of thing. And I say, I don't care, because I'm not going to change who I am. I'm going to be me, and I'm going to be like these people in the TNM that I call family, okay? And so I'm going to leave you with these words of Sam Houston when he said that Texas will again lift its head and stand among the nations. I believe that time is now, and the question is, will you stand with her? Good night, everyone.
Many of us are waking up to the fact that the values of those in Washington, D.C. are not our values.
It is under siege by a Democrat president who refuses to do his constitutional duty to secure the border of the United States.
Then I think we take NASA, we take the military, we take the oil.
Here in Texas, we esteem those principles of Thomas Jefferson, that all political power is inherent in the people. Texans are sick and tired of being governed by 180,000 pages of federal laws, rules, and regulations. And I've dedicated the last 15 years of my life to make sure that we don't have to do this anymore.
It is for all of these reasons and more that tonight I am officially announcing that I will be running as a Republican candidate to become the next lieutenant governor of the great state of Texas.